Hello, my name is Joshua Noonan. I just wanted to make this welcome video for you to kind of give you an idea, an overview of how our online trade class is going to work. I'm actually sitting in my office here now in Steam, but I actually have both the syllabus and Blackboard pulled up on my computer, so I'm going to kind of be going back and forth because ultimately I just want to kind of look through everything like you would look through it if you were a student and make sure we kind of understand everything. First off, as far as it goes, this class is trigonometry. All of you should have taken 171, which is pre-calculus algebra. Now we're just going to expand on that and do trigonometry. And I have the syllabus here, and it's listed. If you go on Blackboard on the tabs on the left, if you look under course information, you'll actually see the syllabus as well as my bio and all of that. But you can see the syllabus and you can download it and kind of go through it as you're watching this video. But let's see the stuff we actually need. Okay, on the syllabus, it lists my name, Joshua Noonan. The last day to drop the class, none of you are going to drop it because you love trig, so we don't have to worry about that. But it's March 28th. If you end up dropping for whatever reason, just make sure you do it before then or you end up getting an F. My office right here. If you want to stop in person because you have questions, feel free to do that. It's B111A. B111 in Steam is actually a conference room for the faculty, and then 111A is just off to the side of that. So I will also point out I got an email yesterday that if any of you are on campus, I'm sure you're aware that we have a new engineering building, which I can actually see outside my window. And apparently it may actually open over spring break, or we may move over spring break and switch classes. All that to say, I don't actually know if my office is going to change this semester. If it does, I'll let you know. But right now it's B111A. And on the syllabus, it lists my email and my phone number. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to email me or call me. It's actually probably better to email me because I have seated classes too, so there's no guarantee I'll be in my office to get your phone call if you call. And I don't really know how the messaging system works on the phone system, so I don't really get those messages. So just email me. Also, as we'll get to as we kind of talk about the class, since this is an online class, all of your work is either going to be uploaded to Alex, which all of you should be aware of how Alex works because you took 171, or it'll be uploaded through Blackboard, which again you should be used to from 171. But Blackboard occasionally messes things up or has issues when you upload. And if that happens, feel free to just email me your work. Then I have to go into the system and change stuff. But just be aware of that. I'm aware occasionally Blackboard messes up based on your connection or whatever. Let's see. Course description. This course is designed to develop an understanding of topics which are fundamental to the study of calculus. Emphasis is placed on the analysis of trigonometric functions and multiple representations, right and oblique triangles, vectors, polar coordinates, conic sections, and parametric equations. Upon completion, students should be able to select and use appropriate models and techniques for finding solutions to trigonometry-related problems with or without technology, which is the thing I have to read, whether this class was seated or online. And if you have no idea what any of that stuff is, don't worry about it. By the end of the semester, you will. One thing I will point out that makes this class somewhat different than, say, pre-calculus algebra and all of that, in this class, on your homework, whether it's Alex or problems from your textbook or your exams, sometimes you will be told, find an answer rounded to 2 decimal places. Other times you'll be told, find an exact answer. If you're told to find an exact answer, that means essentially don't use a calculator. Put another way, the square root of 2 is a square root of 2, like radical 2, not 1.4142, whatever decimal a calculator would give you. In this class, we prefer exact answers, and there are reasons for that. So just be aware. And I know because this is an online class, you have access to the computer because you're using the computer for the class. You can easily just throw it into Google and get the approximation and round your decimal and all that. If you do that and you're told to get an exact answer, you're going to be wrong. and it'll just be marked wrong every single time, because there is a fundamental difference and we do it for specific reasons in this class. So make sure you know if you're told to find an exact answer or not. And again, the easiest way to explain it is, if you're told to find an exact answer, don't use your calculator. Because if you do, you're going to get it wrong. The calculator approximates things. Okay, this is obviously an online class. As far as the rough setup for how this class works, basically, I will upload your work every Sunday night, Monday morning before 8 a.m., and it will be due the following Sunday night. You will basically have online homework through Alex that is due every single week, which I am assuming is the same as you did in 171. So that format you should be used to. It will be, like I said, it will the dates when Alex will open will vary because it's a software system and stuff like that just changes. And there's, to a certain extent, sometimes I can't do anything about it. But basically, the work will open each week that should cover the material that we cover in class that week, and it will be due the following Sunday night. You will have written homework from your textbook. Your textbook is an e-text. There is not a hard copy of it. If you want a hard copy, you can look online and buy one used. They're cheap now because it's an older textbook. But we actually have an e-text. It's in Alex. Again, all of you should know this from 171. But you will have written homework from the textbook that is due every single week as well. That will also be due on Sunday night. The schedule for the class, as far as which topics, which sections we're going to cover, when we're going to have an exams and all of that, that'll be posted in Blackboard. So you'll have that to refer to. And then there'll be a second section that says written assignments, which is where your actual written homework from your textbook will be. So make sure you keep all of that straight. And the work in Alex, you'll obviously just do in Alex. The written homework from the textbook, you will upload to Blackboard. When you open the assignment, there'll be a link. You'll upload it to Blackboard. If that has an issue uploading, then you can just email it to me. I'm aware it happens. You will also have random labs throughout the semester that will also be thrown in your written assignments. So it'll all be located there. As far as your exams go, even though this is an online class, because of the way it works, essentially it's a math class. I want to see your work written out, and some of the material we cover, you will have to write out line by line by line. So your exams will actually be listed under written assignments in Blackboard, and you will open the exam, and either it will be an exam in Blackboard, but there'll be room for you to kind of type out any work that I want you to show. That'll make more sense as we get later in the semester. Don't worry about it. Or I'll upload the exam, and then I'll just have, it'll be a PDF, and you can download the PDF when you take the exam, write out all your solutions on separate paper, take pictures of it, and then email it to me when you're done. I kind of go back and forth each semester, pretty much based on how I feel. So it'll be one of those two options, but be aware, you need to show work in this class. Sometimes you will not have to, and I will make that clear as we go. But for several topics that we cover, you need to show work. So if you don't show work, you just don't get any credit for it. You'll get a 0 because showing the work is the point. Let's see. Going through your syllabus, seeing what's important. Student learning outcomes, that lists most of the stuff we're going to cover. So feel free to look over that. I'm not going to go through it now. Calculator. Yes, you can use a calculator. Again, you're using the computer here, so I understand you can use a calculator. You can use Desmos and stuff like that. As far as calculators go, you're not actually allowed to use a graphing calculator. Again, to a certain extent, there's no way I can stop you doing that because it's an online class. But the actual rules say you can't use a graphing calculator. You can just use a scientific one, and the syllabus has pictures of the ones we prefer. That being said, and again, I stress this, if any of you had me in 171, you'll recall me saying this in 171, and I say it here too. If you use Desmos to graph things. We will actually use Desmos a few times for a couple of labs you do, so that's fine. But if you use Desmos on an exam and copy graphs from Desmos, whether you just copy them out on your exam and send that to me in your exam, or you just like try to draw out whatever the picture was you saw on Desmos, or even on a graphing calculator, I'm going to know the difference. And since I know it's not allowed, I'm just going to give you a 0 on it. So just be aware of that. When we graph things or use graphs on exams, you should be able to do them by hand, and we'll go over how to do that in class. So if you're doing something that, and I know you're using the calculator or Desmos or anything else to do that, I'm just not going to give you any credit for it. As far as evaluation goes, 30% of your grade is Alex, 30% is class activities, and 40% is tests. And as far as it goes, for class activities, we are referring to written homework, labs I give you, any other random assignments if we end up having makeup work because classes get canceled, although that should not affect us as an online class, but you never know. So anything like that all gets dumped into class activities. And then let's see. I may alter that scheme a little bit. I may lower the percentage for class activities and raise the percentage for tests. So just be aware of that and check your syllabus for the final version in a few days. Let's see. Class activities, exams, Alex, 10-point grading scale. Online attendance policy. Yes, as far as the online attendance policy goes, just so you are all aware, and again, I'm sure you've taken online classes before, I need to prove that you're actually in the class. If you do not either turn in a lab, if there's a lab that week, or the written homework assignment for that week, or do your Alex work, then you're counted as absent. And if you have more than 2 absences in this class, you just get dropped from the class. So be aware of that. Attendance gets counted weekly. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to mention. Bear with me as I scan through this to make sure we, like I said, cover everything. Okay, good. Then I think that covers everything on the syllabus that we actually need to go over. Read through it yourself. If there are any questions, again, feel free to just email me or stop by my office and we'll go through them. As far as Blackboard goes, like I said, you will have, if you look under, let me pull up, I have multiple trig classes right here. If you look up course information, that's where the syllabus is, and that's where my bio is, if for some reason you care. To prove you're actually enrolled in this class within the first 2 days, I'm going to upload a thread to the discussion board. We're not going to use the discussion board at all the entire semester, except for right now. Essentially, I want you to do a quick introduction. Hello, my name is, what grade you're in, if you're in high school, whatever. Just to prove that you're actually in the class. And you also have the enrollment verification quiz, which is required. All of that will be listed under either course information or collaboration, which again is standard in all your classes, so I'm sure it's not a big deal. Make sure you do that or you'll just get disenrolled from the class because I'm required to do that to prove you actually entered the class. I think that pretty much covers everything that I can think of. Like I said, your e-text is listed under Alex, which I'm sure you're used to from 171. If, for whatever reason, you have any trouble with Alex, there's usually road bumps right at the beginning of the semester. If you have any trouble with Alex, with Blackboard, with anything, feel free to email me or stop by my office and we can work everything out. I will point out there is a lot of work that we have to do in this class, so make sure you kind of get everything straightened out and worked out as quickly as possible so you don't fall behind.